What up guys, welcome back to another video. We are back out here on the Oregon coast. Today we're going to be shooting some 35mm film and medium format film. Alright, so today we are going to be comparing the photos from the Fuji GW690 Mark III, which is a medium format film camera, and the Olympus Super Zoom 760, which is a point and shoot 35mm film camera. Alright, so in the Fuji we have some Kodak Portra 400, it's kind of just like a basic 400 speed film. And in the Olympus, we're gonna have some Kodak Ultramax 400, which is also like a basic 400 speed film. I'm guessing on this exposure. This is so much wider. Let me zoom in a little bit. Hey, check this out. Got him. Hey, this is gonna be hard actually. Stay there just like that. That's gonna be sick. Yeah, that's gonna be fire. Trying to follow meaning. Yeah. That looks pretty sick too. Hey, when I get rich, you can be my cameraman. Huh?
Make some extra dough.
Yeah. I'm guessing on this one too.
Huh?
I'm guessing on this one too. I'm gonna go down here a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna guess on this too. I'm gonna get the flower and focus on this one. I'm getting the flower and focus on this one. Hopefully. Unless I miss. It's possible because it's moving. Hit the little switcheroo on them real quick. Hey, ready for this? Ready for this? Record this.
Record it?
Ready? Can't. Fire. I can't tell if anything's in focus either. There we go. All right. All right guys, so we just finished the roll of the 120, so we're gonna head back home now. I'm gonna drop those off at the lab. Once I get those back, I'll see you guys back at the house. Peace. Alright guys, so we are back at the house now. It's been almost a month since that last footage you just saw. So I ended up not being able to finish that roll of 35mm, and I didn't really want to waste it just like shooting shots, just finish it for this video. So I didn't finish that day, and then I ended up going on a few more trips after that. So I've been super busy for more reasons than just that. It'll be my next video I'm dropping here in the next couple of days, kind of explaining what I've been doing. But yeah, so that's why this video hasn't came out, and that's why it has taken me so long to record this part. Alright, so we'll be comparing 4 35mm photos and 4 120 photos. Kind of just like comparing them, seeing how they look kind of next to each other, and just kind of the differences between the two. Alright, so for the first image here, we're gonna have this 35mm photo we took while we were out. It's gonna be kind of looking over a cliffside with some bushes here on the left side of the frame. And then this photo here is gonna be the 120 version of that. As you guys can see, the 120 version is a lot more bright and colorful compared to the 35mm. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with the 120 for this, just because there is a little more contrast, a little more color, a little more punch to it. And just a little disclaimer before we get farther into this part of the video. I did edit these very slightly. When I edit my film photos, I usually just add a little contrast, a little saturation, just to kind of add my own little touch to it and kind of get the look I'm looking for on there. All right, and for this next photo, we're gonna have kind of a similar scene. This is actually a different spot on the coast, but it looks pretty similar to the last one we took. So this is the 35mm. It's gonna be looking pretty similar to the last one we had. A little more flat, a little more details in the sky are still there. And then this is gonna be the 120 version. The blacks are a lot more crushed on this. The colors aren't as good. I don't know if that's just because the lab I go to, that's just like the way they develop the 120 or what the deal is. But if I had to pick one of these, I'd probably go with the 35mm, just because there's a little more life to it and a little more color on there. All right, and these next two sets of photos are gonna be my favorite ones I got in the entire day. So we're here at this scene where there was a bunch of like wildflowers on the coast, which is kind of hard to find on the Oregon coast sometimes, just because there's like a lot of cliffs or it's mostly just sand. We got lucky and turned a corner and saw this and pulled over real quick. So this is the 35 version of this. So you guys can see the blacks and shadows are pretty dark, a lot of contrast, but I did add some saturation back into it to bring it back to life a little bit. And this 120 version of it is gonna be a lot more airy and kind of like dreamy like. So if I had to pick one of these, it's kind of a toss-up. You can go either way. It kind of just depends on the look you're going for. But I'd probably go with the 120 just because it kind of gives more of like a summer feel, and we're in summertime, so I'm kind of rocking with that. All right, and for this fourth and final comparison we got here, it's gonna be a photo from the same spot, except I'm closer to the edge of the cliff, so there is no flowers in the photo. This is a vertical picture I took. Usually when I do 35mm, I don't take any vertical just because I think horizontal looks better. I think horizontal looks better for the majority of photos. But I did shoot this vertical. I'm glad I did, because you can kind of just see the different layers of the photo. And yeah, I think this one turned out good. I really like the orange on the left-hand side here on the cliffs, and I think the blue in the water came out really well. Then if you look at the 120, this scan came out kind of nasty. I don't know if it's just the way I shot it, the way they scanned it. What the deal was, I tried to correct it a little bit, but obviously it didn't work too well. And I think I misfocused on this, so the obvious winner of this is gonna be this 35mm. My favorite photo I took of the whole day on film, and yeah, I'm kind of just really stoked on how that came out. All right, so those are gonna be the 4 photos we're gonna compare today. If I had to pick a winner, I'd probably go with the 35mm, honestly. Number one, I think the photos came out cleaner, and it is a point and shoot, so it is a lot easier to use than like a big 120 film camera. Kind of just depends on preference. So if you're looking to like lug around like an actual like camera, like feel like a real camera in your hand, 120 is gonna be the way to go. But for me personally, I like to run and gun. I shoot a lot of my digital, as you guys know. The majority of the photos I post are digital, so it is nice to just have like a little pocket 35mm point and shoot. Along with that being said, the 120 will get very expensive to shoot very quickly. On the Fuji, you only get 8 shots per roll compared to the 35mm point and shoot, which you get 36 shots per roll. So if you guys do the math, that is a lot more photos per roll for the 35mm. So that's gonna be a lot nicer on your wallet compared to the 120. So as you guys can see, there is pros and cons of both 35mm and 120. This kind of depends what you're looking for, what you are willing to spend, like money-wise, developing-wise, that kind of thing. And just the kind of look you're going for, you just want like a take like a quick photo of like a scene you want to just capture, or you want to take like an actual like photo that you want to frame up and like get serious with. That's kind of like 120. All right guys, so I hope that kind of helped you just do a little comparison. Obviously the results would vary from like scene to scene. So say I go to the mountains, 120 could blow 35 millimeter out of the water, or 35 millimeter could blow 120 out of the water. So it kind of just depends. And the thing with point and shoot is you don't control anything. It is all in camera, so the results from that can vary, as opposed to 120, which you can custom change each setting you'd like. So that's gonna wrap up this video. Apologize for this taking so long to finally come to an end. Started this like a month ago, we're finally finishing it. I'm gonna have another video coming out here in the next few days to kind of explain what I've been doing and why I've been so busy. If you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I'm sure you guys have an idea what that's gonna be about. Let's just say this summer is gonna be crazy. So make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss any of my future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.